The year is 1735 and peasants in Spain are getting affected by mal de la rosa, a loathsome disease that is leaving scaly sores on the skin. Pellagra, also often called the disease of the 4Ds, diarrhea, dementia, dermatitis and death, was first officially identified in the US in 1907, but reports of what could have been pellagra go as far back as the 1820s. It was rampant in the poor southern states and between 1907 and 1940 affected 3 million Americans, of which 100,000 died. Pellagra was initially thought to be infectious and the poor people who had it were socially isolated. A brilliant clinical epidemiologist called Dr. Goldberg, however, proved that it was in fact related to the diet. His methods to do so were quite gross and involved direct contact with the body fluids of those suffering from it to prove that unlike infectious diseases, pellagra did not spread. He also showed that pellagra could be cured simply by changing the diet of those who had it. Dr. Goldberg passed away before he was able to pin pellagra down to the deficiency of vitamin B3 or niacin, and this association was made around a decade after his death. Tryptophan, an amino acid precursor to niacin, has since been added to commercial foods to fortify them, and today pellagra is almost unheard of. This brief history and the symptoms of patient deficient in B3 demonstrate the variety of processes that the human body needs niacin for. The prevalence of dermatitis in those deficient in it also demonstrates its importance for skin health. So what is niacinamide and what does its topical application do for your skin? Niacinamide is a form of vitamin B3 that has been used in dermatology for over 4 decades for many conditions including acne and rosacea, and more recently, photoaging, which basically is just a fancy term for skin aging caused by sun exposure. Since niacinamide is water soluble, it is not stored in the body and needs to be replenished daily. It plays a central role in cellular processes including energy production, DNA repair and healing. It is safe for use during pregnancy. What makes niacinamide especially special though is that it holds up to something called Klingman standard. This evaluates cosmeceutical ingredients on 3 things. Number 1, can it penetrate past the skin's outermost layer, the stratum corneum, in a concentration high enough that allows for it to deliver its therapeutic benefits? Number 2, does it have a known biochemical mechanism of action? Number 3, do published, peer-reviewed, double-blind, placebo-controlled, statistically significant clinical trials exist to support claims of its effectiveness? I'm not one for discrediting safe, potentially beneficial ingredients based on an incomplete understanding of their mechanism of action or on scant research. Finding all the answers takes time and resources. However, ingredients that uphold the Klingman standard have their own place, and niacinamide is one of the few that does. Much is known about how niacinamide works, and many studies have backed up its effectiveness over the years. It is also a small molecule with a molecular weight of 122.12 grams per mole that we know is readily absorbed by the skin when topically applied. Niacinamide has recently seen its popularity surge in skincare. Niacinamide's involvement in sun-dry cellular mechanisms allows it to affect positive change in the skin on many fronts. It helps with several skin concerns, and I'm going to cover all of them. But to keep this video from getting too long, I'm going to avoid going into excessive detail around how it works for each one. Here's everything that we know niacinamide can do for your skin. Atopic dermatitis is a skin condition that involves 3 things. Number 1, a decrease in ceramide production in the skin. Number 2, an increase in water loss through the skin. And number 3, a damaged skin barrier. It occurs in families with a history of asthma and hay fever and results in skin prone to itching, redness and inflammation since the skin is no longer able to keep irritants out effectively. Many things can cause dermatitis, including a deficiency in B3, and studies have shown that moisturizers formulated with niacinamide can be effective in its treatment, as they help increase ceramide production in the skin and strengthen the skin barrier. Your skin contains pigment-producing cells called melanocytes. Light and dark skin have about the same number of these, but in darker skin, they produce more of a pigment called melanin. Melanin protects us from the sun's harmful UV rays. When UV rays hit our skin, melanocytes in the skin begin to produce more melanin in an attempt to protect our skin from the sun. This is also why we tan. Hyperpigmentation occurs when excessive sun exposure over time messes up this process, resulting in an uneven pigmentation with patches of lighter and darker skin. Pigmentation is a complex process, and pigmentation regimens that contain multiple ingredients to fight pigmentation on many fronts work best, like our serum, vitamin C, niacinamide, alpha-arbutin. Niacinamide, however, is also an effective ingredient and is an excellent addition to any skincare routine designed to fight off pigmentation. Rosacea is a common chronic skin condition characterized by redness, pimples, and broken blood vessels. It tends to begin between the ages of 30 and 60 and is more common in people with fair skin and menopausal women. People with rosacea tend to have more sensitive skin than those who don't, and flare-ups can be triggered by a wide variety of things, from sunlight to spicy food and even strong emotions. Triggered skin is red, blotchy, coarse, and swollen. Niacinamide helps those with rosacea in ways similar to how it helps those with dermatitis by working on multiple fronts to strengthen the skin barrier so the skin is less sensitive and less prone to flare-ups and irritation. Many changes occur in the skin as we age. Our skin produces less collagen and is no longer able to use glucose for energy as efficiently as it was once able to do so. It also becomes drier as ceramide levels in the skin fall. Niacinamide helps increase the production of fibrous proteins like keratin that help to keep our skin firm. It also increases the production of pellagra, a protein that is essential for skin hydration. Niacinamide also helps prevent the yellowness that often accompanies skin as it ages by preventing a reaction called glycation, in which sugars attach themselves to protein in our skin and turns them brown. Many studies have looked into the impact of topical niacinamide on skin aging. A double-blind, randomized controlled trial in which 30 Japanese women were asked to apply a formulation with 5% niacinamide for 8 weeks showed that niacinamide resulted in a significant decline in wrinkles and rough skin. In another study, 40 females aged 35 to 60 applied 5% niacinamide for 12 weeks, also saw significant improvement in hyperpigmentation and skin texture. Niacinamide is also often sold as an ingredient for minimizing enlarged pores. I wasn't really able to find much scientific evidence to really support this claim. It could, however, help by reducing the amount of sebum your skin produces and making your skin firmer. Both changes that can make your pores look smaller. It is, however, still important to note that pore size is genetically determined and there isn't much you can do to change it. Niacinamide's sebostatic, anti-inflammatory and anti-pigmentation effects might potentially also be useful for people who have acne and acne marks. But niacinamide is no substitute for first-line acne treatments like salicylic acid, which is also our personal favorite for acne. It might, however, offer additional benefit in a regimen that also contains salicylic acid. I hope you found this video informative. We'll be doing another one on how to incorporate niacinamide into your skincare routine for various skin concerns soon, so stay tuned. In the interim, if you have any questions, message us on WhatsApp and our team will help you out. See you again. Until next time.